Here is a revised version of the story with a darker and more adult tone. The woods had always been a place of unspeakable terror, a place where the very fabric of reality seemed to unravel. They called it the Devourer's domain, a realm where an ancient entity feasted on the souls of the damned. The locals whispered of its unholy power, how it could manipulate the very essence of existence. They spoke of its unquenchable hunger, its insatiable lust for human suffering, and they warned of its ability to warp the minds of those who dared to enter its realm, driving them to unspeakable acts of depravity and violence. But one group of friends, fueled by a mix of curiosity and hubris, decided to tempt fate. They were seasoned adventurers, or so they thought, and they laughed at the warnings of the locals. They packed their gear, loaded up their cars, and set off into the heart of the woods. At first, everything seemed normal. The trees towered above them, their leaves rustling in the gentle breeze. But as they delved deeper, the atmosphere began to shift. The shadows seemed to twist and writhe like living things. And the silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the sound of twigs snapping beneath their feet. It started with small things, a misplaced item, a strange noise in the night, a feeling of being watched. But as the days passed, the occurrences grew more frequent and more intense. They began to experience vivid, disturbing visions, as if their minds were being probed by some malevolent force. One by one, they started to vanish. At first, the others thought they had simply wandered off, but as the hours passed and there was no sign of their friends, they realized that something was horribly wrong. The remaining adventurers stumbled upon an ancient ritual site, hidden deep in the woods. It was a place of unspeakable horror, where the Devourer's followers had performed their dark rites. And in the center of it all, they found a terrible artifact, a relic that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. As they gazed upon it, they felt the Devourer's presence, its malevolent force washing over them like a wave of ice-cold water. They tried to flee, but it was too late. The entity began to manipulate their minds, driving them to unspeakable acts of violence and depravity. In the end, only one was left, a young woman who had always been the most skeptical of the group. But as she stumbled through the woods, desperate to escape, she felt the Devourer's breath on her neck, its eyes upon her, and its presence in her mind. She knew that she was doomed, that she would soon join her friends in the depths of madness and despair.